The town of Havenport was a speck on the map, nestled between rugged cliffs and a restless sea. Its cobblestone streets wound through quaint shops and salt-worn cottages, where the air always carried the tang of brine and the promise of stories. In this sleepy coastal haven lived Elara, a 28-year-old lighthouse keeper whose days were spent tending to the beacon that guided ships safely home. Her nights, however, belonged to her sketchbook, where she poured her heart into drawings of the ocean's moods, sometimes fierce, sometimes tender, much like her own. Elara was a quiet soul, her chestnut hair often tied in a loose braid, her hazel eyes sharp yet guarded. She loved Havenport's solitude, but it came at a cost. Her mother had passed when she was young, and her father, a fisherman, had vanished at sea a decade ago. The lighthouse was her inheritance, her refuge, and her cage. The townsfolk admired her resilience but whispered about her loneliness. "She's married to the sea," they'd say, and Elara never corrected them. Love, she thought, was a luxury for those who didn't carry ghosts. Across town, in a weathered bookshop called the Drifting Page, lived Caleb Wren, a 30-year-old newcomer who'd arrived 6 months earlier with little more than a suitcase and a worn leather journal. With dark curls that fell into his gray-blue eyes and a smile that felt like a warm hearth, Caleb had a way of making strangers feel known. He'd left the city after a broken engagement, seeking a quieter life where he could write the novel he'd always dreamed of. The bookshop, owned by an elderly aunt who'd retired south, was his fresh start. By day, he sold books and chatted with customers. By night, he wrestled with words, trying to capture the ache of starting over. Their story began on a stormy November evening, when the sky churned like an angry sea. Elara, having finished her rounds at the lighthouse, was battling the wind to get home when a gust tore her scarf from her neck. It sailed down the street, a streak of crimson against the gray, and landed at the doorstep of the Drifting Page. Soaked and shivering, she pushed open the shop's door, the bell jingling softly. Caleb looked up from behind the counter, where he was sorting a stack of paperbacks. "Looks like the storm's delivering gifts," he said, holding up her scarf with a playful grin. Elara, caught off guard, managed a small smile. "It's got a mind of its own," she replied, stepping inside. The shop was warm, its shelves crammed with books, the air scented with coffee and old paper. A small fire crackled in the corner, and Elara felt her tension ease. "Stay till the rain lets up," Caleb offered, gesturing to a cozy armchair. "I've got tea, and you look like you could use it." She hesitated. Elara wasn't one for lingering, but the storm's howl made the decision for her. She accepted the tea, a steaming mug of chamomile, and sank into the chair. Caleb, sensing her reserve, didn't push for conversation. Instead, he handed her a book,